Hey, what's up, guys? You're listening to the It Takes a Village podcast. I'm Ashley, your host. This is where the struggles are real, the callings are heavy, the kids are sticky. We come together because it takes a village, and this is your tribe. Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in on another episode of It Takes a Village podcast. I'm so glad you're here because today I wanted to talk about something that occurs with us like occasionally, pretty often, maybe once a month. And it's those days where you just feel like you woke up on the wrong side of the bed and it's just going to be a bad day. Today was one of those days for me, and it wasn't so much that I woke up on the wrong side of the bed because I felt fine this morning. It was that I felt disconnected somehow, or like my husband and I don't know, it was just like we weren't connected, we weren't on the same page, and then when we had a conversation, we still weren't on the same page, and that kind of messed with me this morning, and I felt like I was just in a funk. And so I wanted to do an episode because I'm going through this. If you guys hear my son grunting, that's him in the background. He's a grunter, so sorry. Like every time I press record, he starts grunting, and when I stop, he closes his eyes and like looks like he's gonna take a nap. And so I'm like, yes, I'm good, let's go. And then as soon as I hit record, he starts grunting. So sorry about that, guys. Anyways, so today I felt like I was going to be in a funk. I already felt it coming on, and you just feel it and you're like, oh my gosh, this is either going to ruin my day and like everything's just going to go down from here, or I need to figure out a way real quick to turn this ship around because I don't want to feel like this all day long, and you shouldn't want to feel like that either. So I real quickly, for my own self this morning, researched and came up with and brainstormed some ideas on how to get out of a funk when you just are in one, and not things that are too far reaching for a busy mom. And so here are some of my tips that I came up with and things that I did this morning to help me get out of my funk and reset my day. So the first thing is to take a shower and put on makeup and put on clothes that make you feel good. So we're not aiming for super done up and, you don't need to be dressed to the nine like you're going out with the girls, unless you really want to today. You're like, that is what makes me feel good. That's what makes me feel, confident, beautiful, and sexy. And that's what makes me have a good day, is if I have a good face of makeup on and, the cutest outfit on. Or it can be a workout outfit that you feel really good in. We're not going for the comfiest clothes unless they make you feel good. So the main goal is to do something that makes you feel good. And usually it's taking a shower. Something about taking a shower, getting your body fresh and clean, helps you to get a fresh and clean start for the day, especially if you're in a funk. The next thing I did this morning that I thought was really helpful, actually these aren't going to be in order of the things that I do because that would not make sense, but I worked out. That was one of the first things that I did, because I know moving your body, you guys have heard this, and it's absolutely true, is that it gives you endorphins, and endorphins make you happy. And moving your body makes you feel good. So whether it's a workout, a walk, a jog, yoga, taking a walk through the park, just find a way to move your body somehow. And usually that helps boost your mood. It helps clear your mind, helps you take your mind off of whatever it is that's causing you to be in the funk because you're so focused on what you're doing. And yeah, you can't help but feel good after you're moving your body. Then you can also pray, read a devotional, listen to a devotional on a podcast. You guys, there are so many podcasts that are made to lift you up and that are short because they are made for people with busy lives. So I would suggest doing the research, finding those podcasts for you ahead of time, so that way it's not when you're in need of it that you're spending an hour looking through podcasts trying to find one. Already have one that you can go to in time of need and desperation, that will lift you up and help breathe life into you, because sometimes you just need somebody else to tell you truths, even though you already know those things. There's something about somebody else telling you them that you believe them, except when it's your husband. You never just believe your husband when they tell you the same thing. It's always somebody that comes up behind them and says the same thing. Then you're like, oh, so-and-so told me this. And they're like, hello, I just told you that. And you're like, well, not the same. You guys feel me on that, right? I hate for that to be the truth, but it always happens sometimes. Anyways, back to the main picture here. So my favorite thing to do when I'm in a funk is to get outside, for me, being outside in nature, being around things that I feel like are bigger than me, there's just something about the sun touching me. That sounded very inappropriate. The sun touching my skin. Jeez, guys, get your minds out of the gutter. So, anyways, being outside just helps us to get outside of our heads, to enjoy the fresh air, the wind, to look at nature. For me, this is the time that I would pray. Like, I like to pray and thank God for all these things that He's created. And it just helps me take my mind off of whatever it is, because I'm surrounded by so many beautiful things and so many things that He's created. And then it reminds me of all the things that He has done in my life, and then it just kind of spirals, and it helps me to feel better about myself and about my day and about life. And so getting outside, you can read, you can run, you can walk outside, you can journal outside, you can sit on your porch and drink coffee. You guys know this, like when we're outside, if you're not an outdoorsy person, maybe sit by a window, but and maybe all these tips won't work for you, but I hope you can find some that you can pick and choose from that help you, that you can remember when you're in a funk. Meeting up with a friend is another good way, and I want you to be really intentional about who you choose to meet up with when you're in a funk, because you don't need the friend that's going to continue to help you dwell in whatever it is that you're upset in, or to bash on whatever or whoever you're upset in, because that never makes you feel better. And that just kind of is a slippery slope into a deeper funk, a deeper negative place. And so when you pick a friend who's going to encourage you, who's going to be able to be the friend that says, hey girl, that sucks, but let's do this, or think about all the good things that, this and that have brought you, or, whatever, that can just be a good listener, encourage you, and be a positive light in your funky day. And if you don't have a real life friend who can provide that for you, girl, like I said, there's a bajillion podcasts of women who are dying to get into your ear to tell you all the things that you need to hear, whether it be this podcast or a different podcast. You can find it out there that will help you in life in general, but most importantly, when you're having a day like this and you're in a funk. So there's no excuses. The next thing you can do to get out of a funk is to journal. That's what I did this morning. It was awesome, and I haven't done it in a long time. And there are so many prompts on Pinterest. If you don't know where to start, what to write about, the thing I did today was to envision myself, my best self, into the next 10 years. So what would I be wearing 10 years from now at my best self? What would I be doing? How would I talk to people? How would people respond to me? How would people love me? How would my marriage look like? My family look like? Where would I live? All these things, just envisioning myself in 10 years. And that alone, totally, completely turned around my mood today, and also my mindset, and gave me perspective of what am I even upset about right now? What am I even mad about? And then it also reminded me that it's not just the people around me that are causing the funk. I am the funk sometimes. So I need to, if I want to be that person in 10 years, I need to change what I'm doing today. And so anyways, that was just what I journaled today. And that was a good reminder for me. But you can journal whatever, and just maybe it's even your thoughts, what you're upset about, just writing it down. Brain dumping is awesome, and it works. It's proven to work. It's our way of kind of unloading our mind. And once we get it on paper, there's something about it that kind of takes it off of our shoulders. The other thing we love to do is to jam out. If you're stressed out, or your family is stressed out, and your whole family's in a funk, your morning is in a funk, and it's not just you, you can have a jam out session, a dance party. Seriously, be 5 minutes late for school, for work, have a dance party, just turn on the music and jam out. Your kids will think you're crazy, and maybe they'll join in, and maybe they'll laugh at you, but I guarantee you're giving them coping mechanisms, because they're going to watch you do this crazy thing that once they're an adult, they're going to be like, oh yeah, that works. Also, they're going to have fun. You're going to have fun. You can't help but have fun when you're jamming out to a good song, whether it's in the car, you roll the windows down, you're having a dance party of one in the driver's seat. I love it. That's my favorite thing to do, is to karaoke in the car. But you can dance in your house, turn on your favorite song, something to help just uplift your mood, because that's just what dancing does. I don't know. There's no science behind it, I guess. It just does. Even if you're a bad dancer, nobody's watching, nobody cares. Just do it. Then also something else that will help you get out of a funk is to acknowledge that it happens to everybody. I think that we get in this downward spiral when we're having a bad day or these like funky moments because we feel like we shouldn't be thinking that way or we shouldn't feel that way. Or how could we feel this way when, A, B, and C are so great in our lives? But I think it's just like human nature for us to have an occasional bad morning or, like weird, odd feeling. And the thing is that you don't want to stay in it. I think that's when it becomes a problem, is when you're constantly in it. And then maybe you need to, seek that out more. But if it's just like a regular bad morning, where you just feel like you're kind of in a rut or in a funky, mood, then yeah, I think that acknowledging it and just being like, okay, this is how I feel today. What am I going to do to turn this around? It's all right. This happens occasionally, and just roll with it. I think that when you get down on yourself and start bashing yourself for feeling the way you feel, then it just becomes worse and it helps nobody and it's not the truth. So hear me now, happens to everybody. Now it's just, what are you going to do about it? Listen to this podcast. That's what you're going to do. No, I'm totally kidding, but I'm also very serious. Another thing you can do is to make a list of small, specific things that you're grateful for. And I say small, specific because we can easily say, like, I'm thankful for my children. I'm thankful for my husband. I'm thankful for this house. And when you list out such big things, like, you run out of things to say if you go to do it again. Like, this is something that probably is good to do every day. So if you try to do that, then you're like, well, yesterday I already said I was grateful for my house. So what am I going to say today? If you make it small, specific, I think it hits home more and it's more helpful and you won't run out of those things to say. So like today you could say, like, I'm really grateful for, something that happened in the past 24 hours. So I'm really grateful for the thing that my husband told me when he said that he doesn't know how I get it all done in the day. To me, that made me feel like I was acknowledged, and he realized, like, having a baby, yada, yada, yada. You don't have to write that all out. But you know what I'm saying? Like, how small and specific that was, where I thought back to a specific moment of, like, man, this makes me grateful. And then it made me grateful for my husband. And then you're not, like, then you think about, like that small argument this morning. I'm totally using myself as an example here. So, we were disconnected. So then I think about some moments where I'm grateful for him. And then I'm like, oh, well, like, this morning wasn't such a big deal. Like, if I think about it, more, it just changes your mindset about that person if there is another person involved in the way that you're feeling. So the last thing that I have as a tip to get out of your funk, to reset your day, is to do something for yourself. Like, I talk about that till I'm blue in the face on this podcast, and we all ignore it and we all do what we want to do anyways, but because we're moms, that's how we roll. But try to do something for yourself, that whether it's big or small, something that you know is just for you, and that you'll appreciate it. It'll make you feel good, whether that's going on. Maybe it is going on around. It's something for you that you don't get to do every day. Maybe it's walking through the aisles at Target. I don't know. That sort of sounds stressful right now, but if you have no kids, maybe it's a vacation. Maybe it's going somewhere for lunch that has really, really good food that you don't always get to do. Like, give yourself a special treat. Find something that you love to do that you don't always get to do. It can be small, it can be big. Like, it depends on how much time you have in the day, what day it is, if it's a work day or not. Just, the things that are for you, like, that give you life. And do that, and don't feel bad about it, because we all have these days and we need to do something about it, and this is what we're going to do. So those are my getting out of a funk. Hopefully those were helpful for you guys. Like I said, not all of those need to be done. You can pick and choose a few on the day that you need them. Like, for me, I only did a couple of those today, and already I feel great. Like, my day is completely turned around. I don't have that feeling anymore. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys, because that is my reality. That is honest motherhood. That's my honest feelings. This is real life. We all have problems. We all have bad days. And so have a happy day, you guys, because you totally deserve it. You can totally turn it around if you're having a funky day. I hope you guys subscribe. Thank you for listening. Don't miss the next episode. So make sure you subscribe. And don't forget to share this episode with a mama you think might need to hear this. All right. Catch you guys later. Have an awesome day.